In this week's portion, we learn an interesting story. Yosef takes his two sons, Menashe and Ephraim, to his father Yaakov so that he blessed them before he passes away. And he places Menashe, the older one, at Yaakov's right hand, and Ephraim, the younger one, at Yaakov's left, being that the right hand blessing has a greater amount of energy. Yaakov switches his hands and he puts his right hand on the younger one, Ephraim, and the left hand on Menashe. Yosef says to his father, put your right hand on Menashe, he's the firstborn. And Yaakov tells him, my son, I know that Menashe is great, but the younger one, Ephraim, is going to be greater. What is the meaning behind Yaakov's switching of the blessings? And we know that Yosef went through a very difficult life, full of suffering, pain, and abuse. He was orphaned from his mother Rachel at a very young age, and he was sold into slavery. He was then thrown into prison, falsely accused. And yet, Yosef never became this bitter, resentful person. Instead, he was this delightful, positive, cheerful person. How did Yosef maintain his cheerfulness and positive outlook in the face of so much darkness and suffering? And the Rebbe explains that there's two steps in healing and growth. Both steps represented by the two sons of Yosef. The first being transcendence, and the second, transformation. Yosef named his first son Menashe. Menashe means forgetting. Yosef said, God made me forget my misery caused by my father's house. And that is the ability of a person to forget painful experience in a dark past by transcending it, by rising above it, by not allowing it to define his life. That is the ability that we have because of the godly spark that we possess, that we have the capacity to rise above the pain and live a happy and productive life. Then comes the second step, in which this is a more higher and difficult step to achieve, represented by the second son, Ephraim. Ephraim means prosperity and fruitfulness. Yosef said, God caused me to be fruitful and prosper in the land of my affliction, which means that we have the ability to look at our challenges and pain and stumbling blocks and view them as catalysts for our very growth and blessing. That we are able to look at our dark past and transform the darkness into light. When we exploit darkness into a fuel for light, it has a beautiful brightness that ordinary light doesn't have. That is the second step of growth and healing represented by Ephraim, that it is through the darkness and it is through the pain that is actually the source of blessing, the source of the greater growth and achievement. And it was Ephraim that got the higher dose of blessing, because reaching that state where you see all the challenges, the objective of the challenge and test as being a catalyst for growth and transformation, you need an extra dose of power. And so it was Ephraim that allowed Yosef to look back at his life and say, thank you, God, for giving me a blessed life. Have a wonderful Shabbos.